ends meet. See, I want to be blessed. I don't want to be blessed. I want to be blessed to be a blessing. You see, I want to live my life in the overflow. I want to have more than enough. Check this out. Well, it's time for me to start to elevate. Been down too long, time to graduate. Mount up my wings like an eagle, you see. Turn all my dreams to reality. Ain't nothing on this earth gonna hold me back from my heart desires. He promised that if I have faith, if I believe, faith size of a mustard seed. I want to be blessed, to be a blessing. Prosperous life, no more stressing. That won't know me from the moon to the sun. He'll keep blessing me in that recession. I got to do something with this life he give. His plan for me, that's what I wanna live. As long as I got God on my side, the hater just gonna have to let me fly. Yes, I am in the overflow. In the overflow. I'm blessed when I go. Don't you wanna live in the overflow? Living. Yes, I am in the overflow. In the overflow. I'm blessed when I go. Don't you wanna live in the overflow? Living. Oh, yes, I am in the overflow. In the overflow. I'm blessed when I go. Don't you wanna live in the overflow? Yes, I am in the overflow. In the overflow. I'm blessed when I go. Don't you wanna live in the overflow? See, we got to speak that thing into existence. Because it gonna happen. You gotta believe it. In your heart, and in your mind, and in your soul. So you gotta repeat this after me. See what you said, so you can say what you heard. I wanna be living. I gotta be living. And I'm gonna live. Come on, you repeat after me. Come on, say it. I wanna be living. I gotta be living. And I'm gonna live. I wanna be living. I got to be living.
Hey, hey.
Your blessings is on the way.
Whoa, whoa.
I want heaven.
Hey, right here on earth.
Bless when I go. Don't you wanna live in the overflow? In the overflow. Bless when I come. Bless when I go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, I'm having a little issue with this camera, man. I don't know what's going on. I gotta upgrade some of this stuff, man. And I gotta upgrade some of this stuff, man. What's going on out there, y'all, in YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch land, man? This is your boy, R to the Air, coming at you, baby, live in the living room, baby, with Overflow Everyday Conversations. And today is What's on Your Mind. Look at this. This is the camera, man. Just tripping on me, man. What's on your mind? Look at this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this camera, man. It is tripping on me. Yeah, this camera's going to be tripping today, bro. Yeah. This camera going to be tripping today. Camera going to trip all day. Stage. Yeah, this camera gonna be tripping today, y'all. So look like I'm gonna have to go in, keep going in and out, man. But anyway, man, it's a drag. Anyway, but listen, how are y'all doing today, man? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show. Today is the first Tuesday of the month, and this is the day that we do what's on your mind. What's on your mind Tuesday, man? You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to post something, hey, say talk about this, that's what I'm gonna talk about, baby. But until then, we could talk about some more news, some more stuff that's going on in the news. I don't know if y'all follow politics or not, but in case y'all didn't know, they have ousted Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. The Republicans. The Republicans has ousted Speaker of the House, man. First time that has ever happened. I don't know what's going on with this camera, man, but it's really tripping. It is really tripping. So I don't know what's going on with this camera. It's really tripping today. So I don't know what's going on with the camera. That's just it. So y'all gonna have to bear with me. Please bear with me. Bear with me. I hope I ain't gonna have to go out and come back in this thing. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put it in another port. Hopefully that'll work. I'm gonna put it in another port. But I'm having technical difficulties, y'all. Y'all got to bear with it, bro. I am having some serious technical difficulties. But anyway, like I said, Republican Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has been ousted as Speaker of the House. You know what I'm saying? So the United States no longer have a Speaker of the House. The Republicans, they didn't like the way he was moving, man. They don't think he was conservative enough. But I really think they ousted him because he didn't bring a vote to the floor to investigate Joe Biden, right? He didn't bring a vote to the floor to impeach Joe Biden. So what they have done now is they have voted him out as Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. This is the first time that this has happened ever. This has never happened in American politics, man, to where they ousted a Speaker of the House. And that man did everything he could, man, to be Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Let me play a video in case y'all don't understand what's going on. Let me play this video of what's going on in the news today. This just happened a few hours ago, you know. Let me play this video. Let y'all see what's going on.
The yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
An historic moment. For the first time in the history of the United States, the Speaker of the House has been removed. For those paying attention at home and trying to understand why it's not a 218 vote count, it requires a majority of those present and voting. There are 426 people present and voting, 426, which means that you need half plus one, and that would be 214 votes. And they have the yeas to remove Speaker McCarthy are 216. It is a resounding defeat for Speaker McCarthy, with 8 of his fellow House Republicans, including Congressman Matt Gaetz, who led this effort, leading the charge to join the Democrats to remove him from power. Let's listen in if they are they talking right now?
Pursuant to Clause 8B, 3B of Rule 1, is the Honorable Patrick T. McHenry of North Carolina. Signed sincerely, Kevin F. McCumber, Acting Clerk.
So what does this mean?
Pursuant to Clause 8B3 of Rule 1,
What does
I'll
this
now
mean,
act
y'all? You know
as
what I'm
Speaker
saying?
Pro Tem. The Chair will
That the
inform the
Speaker of
members
the
of the
House
House the following.
has
The
been
office
kicked out of
of
office.
Speaker was rendered vacant pursuant to the adoption of House Resolution 757. Upon a vacancy in the office of Speaker, Clause 8B3 of Rule 1 provides that the next member on a list submitted by the Speaker pursuant to the rule acts as Speaker Pro Tem until the election of a new Speaker, and bestows the authorities of the office of Speaker upon the Speaker Pro Tem to the extent necessary and appropriate to that end. In the opinion of the Chair, prior to proceeding to the election of a Speaker, it would be prudent to first recess for the relative caucus and conferences to meet and discuss the path forward. Accordingly, pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the Chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the Chair.
An angry gaveling down by the man named as Speaker Pro Tem, meaning he is the temporary Speaker of the House, that is Congressman Patrick McHenry, a Republican from North Carolina, a close ally of Kevin McCarthy, who is no longer the Speaker of the House. Let us go to
So the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has been kicked out of office. And it just shows you how dysfunctional the Republicans' politics are, man. Democrats too. But more so, the Republican are so dysfunctional, man. They have just kicked the Speaker of the House out of office, and they have a two-time impeached, 4-time convicted, and a man who's went to court today, leading the Republican Party for President of the United States. This is as dysfunctional as you can be. You know what I'm saying? But that is their party. That's politics, man. I don't know if y'all pay attention to politics like I do. You know, so I kind of keep my eyes on politics a little bit. I try not to get too wrapped up in it, but that could have huge implications on us down the road. You know what I'm saying? We look at politics as if it's not our business, but in a way it is our business, because what they do in Washington, what they do in the state governments and city in the government, it affects us. You know what I'm saying? Indirectly, it affects us. So the fact that there is no Speaker of the House, that means that there will be nothing being done. Nothing is going to get done now in Washington. And when nothing gets done in Washington, who does it hurt? It hurts us. That's why I say, you know what I'm saying? That's why I understand a lot of people don't like to vote, because what they do in Washington, it trickles down to us as far as, you know, things that we can be getting done. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people don't pay attention to politics, but it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? It means a lot in a grand scheme of things. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get to my but this is today is whatever is on y'all mind Tuesday. If y'all post a question, y'all post a topic that y'all want to talk about, we could talk about it. But until then, you know, I got something I wanted to talk about. I got something that I've been noticing in social media, man. How they're supposed to be, you know, Christian faith people. The Christian faith people, how they always find a way to talk about other people. The Christian faith people, and I consider myself a Christian, but I'm not that type. I don't know what type of Christian they are. You know what I'm saying? But they seem to always find a way to criticize other people for what they do in their lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? And my question today was, what does Christianity what does Christianity mean in today's society? You know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of people who think they're Christians, they call themselves checking other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm really having some real issues. I don't know if y'all can hear me when the camera goes out, but I'm having some real issues with my camera, and I don't know if I'm able to resolve this today. Anyway, let me see. Can I? So I guess we could come out. Yeah, I'm having. I don't know if y'all can hear me when the camera freezes on me, but I'm having some real issue with this camera today. You want to act crazy. Camera want to act crazy. So what does it mean? What does it mean to be a Christian in today's society, man? I want to know. Can anybody tell me? So that is the question. That is the question, y'all. What does it mean to be a Christian in today's society? Huh? This camera's really gonna give me some issues today. I'm gonna just say that right. Might be that right now. Camera gonna freeze up on me. Yeah, I am having some serious issues. I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm having technical difficulties with my camera. It keep freezing up on me, y'all. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue this live. But anyway, my question of the day, man. If y'all don't have any questions, I would love for y'all to have a question. If y'all got a question, y'all can just post in the comment section. Anything y'all want me to talk about, it could be about my life, it could be about your life, it could be about anybody else's life. But anyway, the question I posed today, man, because I've been seeing a lot of people, you know, who call themselves Christians, they're not approaching people in love. And that's what I think Christians do, man. When you approach somebody, you got to approach them with love. You can't go to nobody who you think is, you know, not living up to par like the way you want them to live. You know what I'm saying? And you'll feel to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I always thought as a Christian, you should live the life. You should try to live the life. People should see Christ in you. And you don't have to tell nobody nothing. You don't have to go around talking about God, and you can profess how good God is in your life, but you can't tell nobody what God should and be doing in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think a Christian should be a person, should be a beacon of hope, a beacon of Christ. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what a Christian should be, a beacon of Christ, not someone going around telling somebody else they going to hell for what they doing and stuff like that, because that make you worse than that person. Because the Bible says, judge and you shall be judged. And I know a lot of y'all see me on Facebook and going back and forth with people. Those people, they are not of Christ. They do more damage to the kingdom of God than anybody else could ever do. Because they portray themselves as someone who has made it. They portray themselves as a Christ messenger. And they're not. And to me, I think a Christian should be a person who displays Christ within themselves in their life, and not going around chastising other people about their lives. Because the Bible says we're all as filthy rags, right? So who am I to tell another person that they are not worthy of the kingdom? You know what I'm saying? I have no right to tell anybody that they are not worthy of the kingdom. So to me, I think what it means to be a Christian is to be a beacon. A beacon. A beacon is a light. The beacon that shines in the light tower. And in a light tower, the function of a light tower is to guide the ships in. When the ships are lost, the function of the lighthouse is to guide the ships in. So to be a Christian is to be a beacon of light. You know what I'm saying? And these people I see out here, man, they spitting out on fire and brimstone. And there's a lot of preachers out there, man, like Geno Jennings and people like that. And people listen to those people, and then they think that like Geno Jennings said it, I can see it. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of people tell me, how do you support your son and you're a Christian? I say, that is why I support my son. First of all, it's my damn son. You know what I'm saying? And it lets me know. Let me see. This camera is keep freezing on me, y'all. Y'all forgive me. If y'all can hear me while the camera freezing, please say yes. I can still hear you, so I can just disregard what this camera is doing. You know what I mean? But anyway, so if y'all can hear me, if y'all can still hear me, okay. So you can still hear me, but the camera keep freezing. I do apologize that the camera continue to go in and out. So y'all please forgive me for that. But anyway, like I'm saying, but y'all can see and hear what I'm saying. But if y'all have a different take on this question, or y'all have a different take on the question, just please post it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, appreciate that, Thomas. What's up, Lo? What's going on, Katina? How you doing? How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Share this if y'all can. Hopefully the camera will clear up eventually. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna have to keep going in and out of this thing. I'm trying to see how I can do this. Keep going in and out. Yeah. So this camera's just gonna act all up on me today. So yeah, so if y'all have any thing to say. This camera just tripping on me. This camera's really giving me a bad experience today, y'all. Doggy. So look, I don't look, y'all apologize for the camera, but But if y'all have a different take, on this subject, feel free, man, to say it, because I'm kind of confused, man. I'm kind of confused because I see a lot of people portraying themselves as Christian, as Bible readers and all that, and doers and stuff, but they never portray. I never see God in them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people portray themselves as Christians, but you never see the God in them. They never come in love. You know what I'm saying? And they say God is love. If God is love, you're supposed to always approach people in love, right? You know. And I've had a couple of conversations with guys on the internet, on Facebook, about that, right? Let me get my girl in, Jenny.
Hey,
What's up, Jenny? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I've been having some issue with the camera since this live
Okay.
started, but I talked a little bit about Kevin McCarthy. He got ousted. We know about talk about. Don't nobody want to talk about politics. But my question of the day was, today is anything what's on your mind Tuesday. So if y'all got something else y'all want me to talk about, y'all post it, please. But the topic right now is, what does it mean to be a Christian in today's society? Because a lot of people, it seems like they are trying to be God. A lot of people think they're God, and they try to correct other people about how to be a Christian. And I've had several conversations on Facebook about how can I support my own son. I'm like, that's my son, and I'm like, and they want to, and people ask you that, and they don't know how dumb they sound. Like, it's one of the dumbest things I've heard a person say. That how can you be a Christian and support your son? And I'm like, what? That's the stupidest thing to ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because I got one job. I think we all have one job, and that's to love one another. Now, what if God loved you on the conditions? What if God had conditions that he loved you? You know what I'm saying? So if God has no conditions for his love for us, how can we have conditions for our own children? You know what I'm saying? So I see my camera keep going in, but you still can hear me though, right, Jenny?
I can. You froze up your picture, but I can still
Yeah,
hear you.
I keep frozen.
Uh-oh. It's out.
Okay, y'all. Okay, did you go out too? I think you went out. Did you go out?
Yeah, but I didn't log out though. I just muted and stopped my cam.
Okay, so I'm having some real issues. So back to what I was saying. Sorry about the issues, y'all. What does it mean to you to be a Christian? You know, first of all, do you subscribe to the Christian faith? So I can't assume that you do. I can't assume that you do. So I assume that you do because the way you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can always tell a true Christian by the way they carry themselves and humbly. You know what I'm saying? So do you subscribe to be a Christian? And what does it mean? What does that mean being a Christian to you?
Well, so a definition of a Christian is someone from their understanding of who Christ is and his ways and his examples of how he moved when he was on the earth. Um, you're just representing. So whether you're at work, whether you're anywhere in life, you're representing. And so with so much going on, it's kind of hard sometimes to tell, maybe, because again, you're looking for a representative that is showing you this is the way to be. You know what I'm saying? Some people are in stages of it. So unfortunately, those people may get judged a little bit because it's like, oh, well, you're supposed to be a Christian, but you're doing this. People who've been in it for a long time, I think those are the people that, maybe there's more expectations of, well, you've been in this for a while. You should know how to, see things according to what, the word of God says, as opposed to what the world is saying. And there's just these expectations. But when you're young in it, when you're a baby Christian, you're going to still have some great, obvious slip ups in life that people may judge you on. I mean, it's sad, but you don't ever know where a person is in their journey. But it's really what it means is just to represent Christ and his ways. And 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 that's the basics of it. I mean, you study to know his ways, and you don't always, like, you will share verbally, but your life should really show that you are representing him, how you're living. Doesn't mean that you won't mess up sometimes. That's why we're forever waking up to his new mercies every day. But, it's just representing. You show, hey, this is how to do it.
Now you said a baby Christian. So now I never heard of baby Christian.
Yeah, man. Okay. So,
So,
so So that term has been around for a long time. So a baby Christian is somebody who's brand new to the faith, because really it's a walk of faith. It's also obedience to what you're learning about Christ and his ways. And you have to have faith even in that, because some people may not even believe in his ways. They may feel like, oh, I can just do whatever I want. God loves me anyway. And yes, he does. He loves all of us. His patience is amazing, because most of us, if we looked at our own selves and examined ourselves, we could have been, in a worse situation if we were chastised to the degree of how we may live. But God is real patient with us. So, when you're looking at someone who's brand new in the faith, they're just starting out. They're excited about God. They're learning. Usually baby Christians will talk about God a lot, like everywhere they go. And then, there's this excitement, but then they still mess up, because it's almost like, okay, I'm in it, I believe, but now I gotta, move a little different with certain things, maybe more than others. Some people have strongholds that they're not even aware of as a stronghold until they come to the faith. So a baby Christian is just somebody who's brand new starting out, and people who've been in it for a while have to be careful around people who are baby Christians, because, like, just say if you drink, it's not a sin to drink, okay? um but if you drink and you have control over your own self, but then you're kind of being a certain way around a baby Christian, they may not understand where your discipline is. And so maybe they're trying to get to a better place where they're not out every weekend getting drunk to the point where they're just doing all kind of things that may be not representing of their character, of who they should be. Again, it's not a sin to drink. It may be the behavior that they may be experiencing when they're out with their friends and stuff like that, and doing, where somebody could question and say, well, oh, if you're a Christian, why are you acting like that? So we people who are seasoned in it just have to be a little bit more careful, because we are the older representatives to help the younger ones. So, a baby Christian is just that they're new in the faith, and so they're trying to find their way, and they're actually looking up to the people who've been in it for a while, been in the faith for a while.
Okay, but no matter how long you've been in the faith, God still sees us as filthy rags, right? Even
Well, yeah, our
did,
righteousness are, yeah.
did he say we are still a filthy rag even in our righteousness? Even
So
in our
that
righteousness, so even in our righteousness, we can only be we can never be, you know what I'm saying, unclean people,
So
right?
it's our righteousness. When he speaks on that, he's speaking on our righteousness, because sometimes you have people may have a mindset where I do these things right, I do all these things right, and they're really confident in a probably um arrogant kind of way, like, oh, I don't do this wrong. But that doesn't mean that they have the spirit of God in them, because our righteousness that we have comes from our right standing with God, with Christ. So when he says our righteousness are as filthy rags, it's like whatever we think we're doing on our own, because good people can do bad things, if you want to label a person, and bad people can do good things. We are capable of both. But the thing is that when you are trying to say, oh, I'm doing this without the power of God, it is as filthy rags, because when you're moving on this earth, you'll still mess up. And that's why he forgives us over and over again, not so that we can abuse that and say, oh, well, I know he loves me, he's going to forgive me every time I do something wrong, which he will, because he forgets our sins. Like there's a scripture that says he moves it, like, where does it, he forgives us and removes our transgressions as far as the east is from the west, or something, a scripture like that. But what it is that he's not remembering our sins and holding it over our heads. But what we're doing every day is we're growing to be better, which means that the more you feel the Holy Spirit, the more you'll be bothered and troubled by doing things wrong. So after a while, you don't want to do things wrong. Some stuff may take a little longer depending on the stronghold, but in in a nutshell, it's kind of like you're going to mess up, but the grace is there to be forgiven daily, but you're not trying to abuse it. And your righteousness on your own of how you think you are, it's not about you. It's about his power in you. So you're growing constantly to perfection. You're not perfect. And people a lot of times will preface when they mess up, oh, I'm not perfect. I'll tell anybody that goes without saying. You don't have to ever waste those words and say, I'm not perfect. That's obvious. Anybody that's ever been born on this earth other than Christ, nobody's perfect. But we strive for perfection. And that's actually in the word. We strive for it up until the day we die. So anytime you mess up, you're not looked at like, oh, I reject you. No, God sees that you're working towards, being a better person, because you're moved by his spirit, and you want to do what's right. Even though you may struggle, you can do something wrong and be like, dang, my flesh was messing me up, but my spirit really don't want to do it. And that's where you have the strongholds that you have to sometimes get prayer for. That's something that at the end of your life you can say, I overcame that. Because when he says that you are more than a conqueror, and that you know what I'm saying, like at the end when he says you're more than a conqueror, and he said that there are things that you're going to overcome. Well, those things are the things that you're going to overcome. If you're doing all these things that you're struggling with and God is helping you, those are the things that you overcame. You don't Some stuff just take a while, and then some stuff is a piece of cake. You're like, I don't want to do that no more. But some stuff is a little bit more work. But again, that's the grace and mercy that he extends to us every day. And people, can't get caught up in, oh, I did this and I did that. No, it's not our works that save us, it's our faith. But the work that you do should reflect that you are getting closer to God, that you do have faith that he can heal you in your soul and your spirit and make you move a certain way that's not what would be the old man. You put off the old man and you put on the new. You're supposed to be different. And it's not because it's you, it's God in you. So yeah, in our own righteousness, it says filthy rags. But when he's in us, he's enabling us to be what we should be. And even in our mess ups every day, he's still perfecting us. It's an ongoing thing up until you die. Like, it's ongoing. Because God knows we're battling with the flesh. The war is between the flesh and the spirit. That's every day. We're constantly warring every day.
Exactly. What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How y'all doing?
We
Hey,
great.
good.
I'm
How
great.
are
I'm great,
you?
man. We just got a little topic. Well, today is what's on your mind Tuesday, the first week. We want to do the first week in the first Tuesday of the month. So whatever, if y'all watching, y'all got something else y'all want to talk about. Y'all want to talk about this question. Y'all want to come on live, talk about it. But as for now, we're gonna talk about what does it mean to be a Christian in today's society. After COVID, it seemed like nobody went back to church, man. I mean, you can go to any church in Atlanta today, man. It's like only like 10% people in those churches. A lot of people never returned back to church, and I don't know if people found Christ themselves and realized that they didn't need the church or something like that, or are they saved a lot of money? They saw the money they were saving by not going to church or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they just, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense to go back, and maybe they like watching church on TV. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, a lot of people just never did go back to church, and I can say that I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been back to church since COVID shut it down. I've been back like here and there, but I've never, been like a constant member of a church since it closed down. And for me, I kind of found a spiritual sense of myself, because you only had yourself to deal with, you and God. It was just you and God to deal with. You didn't have a whole lot of people to give you sermons and sing songs of praise to you. You know what I'm saying? So it had to be from within. You know what I'm saying? It had to be from your own heart, to heart talk with you in Christ most of those days. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are cooped up in the house, locked in, but after COVID, they just never went back to church. And I think the statistics say about churches have dwindled, like at least 50%, man, of the people who went to church, 50% of them never went back, man. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? What reason have y'all been back? You know what I'm saying? What reason y'all think people just never went back?
I don't know what reason why they didn't go back. I can't answer that question.
I can say from people that I know several people that did not go back because they found they had a closer walk with God and understanding Him by studying at home or going to Bible study groups. So I wouldn't say for any other reason. I've heard a couple of people say, they prefer to be able to like watch it online in the comfort of their home. But I can say even for myself, I got more understanding that now my love for God has always been ever increasing. But when it comes down to understanding, like my understanding has increased by going to Bible study groups and also by just studying at home because I can hear better. I hate to say it, but sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes depending on where you go, church can be very distracting. It'd be so many other things going on, and it can be an emotional experience that you're getting what you need in that way, but then when you come home Sunday after Sunday, Monday starts to look like last Monday. You still ain't out of that situation within yourself of, the strongholds or whatever God really says about how you can get through this, because we always know it takes faith. That's going to be preached in church 24/7. They're going to preach about faith, but you need faith for everything in life. So that kind of goes without saying. You need faith to sit in the chair that you're sitting in, that it won't break and fall off from up under your behind. So you just have to know that we have faith for whatever. Even people that don't believe in God, they believe that there is no God. That's their faith. So what I'm saying is that I think people who chose kind of like me to just study more at home or to, get closer when we couldn't go, it was a quiet time. You could hear better because you didn't have some of the distractions that church can bring. It can. And I would say like that's the answers that I got from some people. I wouldn't say, that it wasn't other reasons, but those are some of the things that I heard.
You said a lot since I've been on, and a lot of it I agree with. A whole lot of it. Well, both of you actually, to be honest with you. But I'm going to say this though, to somewhat piggyback of what you said too. Both of you said is, uh, I never knew there was a requirement that you had to go to church to be a Christian. Did you ever know that? Have you heard that requirement?
No, but you know how people are running that like, well, you know, God say whatever that 2 or 3 or more gathered together, he should be. You know what I'm saying? People always conveniently use the Bible when it fits their narrative. You know what I'm saying?
That's a man thing. It's always been that way. Okay, the KKK did it. The KKK and white people use it to justify slavery. So that's just what it is. But people, like you said, do things in their own narrative. I was never taught that you had to go to church to be a Christian. You don't. He does say you must visit. He wants you to visit his house sometimes. You can have church in your backyard.
I agree with
church.
that. I do.
You can have church in your bathroom.
Yeah. And you know what? I wasn't raised up that you had to be a Christian.
But are we doing it? Excuse me. But are we doing it? Are we having church in the backyard? Are we having church in the bathroom? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you say that, then you walk away from it. But are we doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I didn't walk away from it. I said it to say this. Okay. To be a Christian has never changed. The way to be a Christian has never changed. You know who's changed? We did. But the fundamental things of being a Christian has never changed at all. You came out, Jenny said that the definition of it. Basically, it's what? A follower of someone who follows Christ, correct? That's basically what it is. 100%. And to be more in detail about it, your behaviors should be reflective of how Christ is, should be Christ-like, right? That has never changed, no matter what era you in, no matter what generation it is. We change. That's who changes. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we cannot say, I think the question is really loaded, to be honest with you.
But the main question, what does it mean to be a Christian?
That's what I'm saying. It means the same thing that it meant yesterday. It's going to mean the same thing that's going to mean tomorrow. It's going to mean the same thing. We just don't.
And what is that? That's my point. What is that? You said that the same way,
I'm trying to tell you that what I'm trying to say is that the reason why a lot of people probably, not gonna say the reason why, but one reason why probably people didn't go back to to church and stuff like that, because now they can actually read what's in the Bible itself and study it itself.
Right.
A lot of times churches have, they try to go what's going on and talk about only what's going on in the worldly views, because now people looking at it as a place to go ahead and for entertainment purposes too. Yeah. At times, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People don't want to, people don't want to listen to what the word is really taught inside there.
Right.
And pastors have conceded to that.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And instead of teaching the word, because I know you brought up earlier Pastor Geno Jennings, which he does. If you notice in his sermons, he reads directly from the book.
He does.
Now he's aggressive. He's a little I'm gonna say crass. He's harsh.
He is.
Yes, he is. But he reads it directly from the book.
Right.
The pastors today, a lot of them don't do that. They will sit there and say one or two little things, and then go on about, Stanford, Robert, Jenny, Charisma, and talk about them, about their life.
Yeah.
Instead of staying fast, it was actually in the book itself. So it's not that Christianity has changed at all. It's none of that. It's we have changed. We have changed and misunderstood the doctrine at times. Yeah. That's my take on it.
And no, I totally agree with that, because I've always kind of over time noticed, I was like, now they don't. So if you think about it, you're going to church. This is where you're learning about God. You're learning more about who he is, Christ, his ways, what he has for us, how he loves us, and the things that make us better, to pull us out of that life that would send us far away from him to a place we don't want to go. we come to church or we go to church and there's not even a need to take a Bible. Like, how much sense does that make to go there, but you don't have your Bible with you? Because the way it works now is usually they have the screens, they put it up there for you, the 2 or 3 scriptures, they put it up, they build a sermon around that. And you don't even have to thumb through the Bible to find it. There was a time when it used to be everybody open your Bibles, turn to, this scripture, we'll wait for you. They don't do that anymore. I mean, I'm not saying 100% across the board, but a lot of churches now don't even require you to have your own Bible with you to actually open it and thumb through it to study what is being taught. And again, it's 2 or 3 scriptures put up on the screen for your convenience. You don't even have to touch your Bible. So you're being like babied in a sense, like you're being like treated like, hey, no, we got it, we put it up there, then we're going to build this sermon around it, and make it really fluffy for you, and make it emotional. We sing a lot of songs, which is great because you're supposed to sing and do praise and worship, because I love it. It's just that it's so much more aspects of it that's evolved to entertaining, a lot of networking, and it almost becomes like a business. And then, they're asking for tons of money. And when you leave, you may feel good. They may have touched on something that resonated with you. It's happened to me a million times where it feels like, well, were they in my house? How they know how I was feeling. But the thing about it is that, are you changed when you leave, or did you just get soothed for that day for all the issues you had that week? Like, how do I get past this? I know I got to have faith, but past that, how do I work through these issues? You look at certain books in the Bible, it tells you how to deal with everyday life. It really does. But that's not being taught, because there are other things that's being taught to kind of to handle other agendas. And I'll just kind of say that. I'll leave it at that.
So do y'all take the Bible verbatim, or do y'all think
You mean literally?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Do y'all take the Bible literally, or do y'all think that there are words that are being said that really mean something else in the grand scheme of things, or do you take it like word for word? You know what I'm saying?
There are a lot of parables.
Yeah.
There are a lot of analogies within the Bible. The mustard seed is for one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's quite a few of them, but they're used to describe a certain situation, or to explain the meaning of what it is for a particular situation. Like for instance, the when you hear things like in the Bible, unicorn, because that's what's in there. People literally think that that's what the Bible is talking about. The word unicorn is a horse with the thing sticking out of his head. But if they're not educated enough, and it's no fault of their own because they just don't know, is that, unicorn back in those days meant any animal with horns protruding from their head. And those animals existed. Like what? Bulls, calves, all those things. That's what that meant. But people do misinterpret certain words, and they don't understand the tense of the Bible. It's like you have first, second, and third tenses in the Bible, and then they take things in the wrong tenses. And they need to understand that the language back then is different than the language than it is right now. And until they're able to understand that, now scholars who study the Bible, and pastors and priests and whatever book they read when it comes to that, they know this already. But common folk like you and I, there's a lot of things that we don't know, and we don't understand it. I had to get taught this. I was like, what? And then when I looked it up and then I read the stories over again, it made so much more sense. And that's the thing. We have to take time out to do so. We don't take time out to do so.
And you have to study it. It's like anything else that you want to learn. Studying means you got to read it. You got to ask questions with people who know more than you. Of course, the Spirit of God is always your help. You pray before you read, like, Lord, help me to have understanding about what your word says. And when you put all that together, some stuff will come to you and you'll be enlightened pretty much. You'll get an understanding that you didn't have maybe 5 years ago of the same scripture that you've been reading over and over again. It's a process. You study it just like anything else. When you want to get good at something, you study it. You look into it. You ask questions. You won't know until you actually do that, instead of just hearsay. Like, you really want to know, you'll read it for yourself.
I really believe that the power is in the word, and I think that people don't get the word because it's not for them. They don't deserve it, and so that's the reason why it eludes them. Now, does it mean that they can't ever get it? No,
Right.
Without works, faith is dead, right?
Right.
All that's dead. So they have to work at it. They have to work at that. It ain't gonna just come to you.
Right.
Those days are over.
And you know what? And you also have to have faith. And I've told a few people like close to me this. It's like, your work, your faith is the work. If you don't believe it, then you can study it all you want. But if you don't believe in it, it does you no good. Your work, the work is your faith.
Let me
Work your faith itself.
most people have never read the Bible from beginning to end.
It's hard to do that.
It's hard to do that. Now, I've read it from beginning to end, and I'm gonna tell you like this: half of it, I was just lost.
Yep.
I was like, what?
So
But-
how do you? And that's why I bring this up. Like,
Yeah.
if you and you come across as somebody who knows the Bible more than the average person, if you saying that you were kind of like lost, I mean, how does the average person pick up the Bible and say and get it? You know what I'm saying?
When it comes to religion, I consider myself the average person. You see, you're looking at, I mean, my status in the world. I mean, I have a lot of, items on this earth. But when it comes to religion, I'm the average person. I'm not a scholar. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a priest. I'm none of that. But I am a person who likes to think of himself as a follower of Christ, though.
Yeah,
So,
I think God sees us all as average people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does see us as a people.
The person, even a scholar in the Bible, I thought he's just an average person.
Yeah, but I mean, when we come to it's up to us, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. What it is that there's three type of people. It's either the people that's at the crossroads, or you got people who will turn to the left and don't believe it, or people will go to the right and believe it. It's up to you.
Right.
And I can't figure out why people can't grab certain things in the Bible. That's not my job to do so. That is not no one's job but between that person and God himself.
Yeah.
I can't do that. It's not, and I'm not going to do that. I can't say the reason why you don't understand this about God is because you're not living right. No, I can't say that. I can believe it. I can say that's probably it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So
yeah, and that's why I posed this question on what does it mean to be a Christian in today's world? Because I see a lot of people call themselves chastising other people. I'm going like, God, that ain't God wants you to. God want us to do that? Do God need us to do that?
God, in my opinion, I'm not for sure for this. It is just an opinion of mine. Is that personally, I don't think God needs defending from me. God is God. How do I think of myself as being that damn arrogant to think that I have to defend God? Now, if God has a calling for me, then guess what? I better fucking answer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't, it's just a personal thing with me. I don't think that I have to defend God. You know what I'm saying, to people. I can, if they ask me a question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to defend God. But if God says, I need you for this, I need you to do this for me, then I better do it. So that makes me a follower. Understand?
Excuse me, y'all, for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a Christian, we should be able to look at ourselves. We should be our own self-correctors, right? If you call yourself a Christian, there's no way I should be out telling Stanford what he's wrong at, what he should be correcting his life at. Because I got a lot of stuff I need to be correcting myself, right? So,
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I say Geno Jennings. He'll preach about everybody else, but I would love to see you get up there and say, "This is what I'm doing wrong. This is what I need to be corrected at."
Well, personally, I've heard him say,
and I think you'll reach people better if you confess your sins. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to pointing out other people's sins. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard Geno Jennings say this about himself, right? He did say this. He did say that one of the sins that he has is the fact that he still likes to play the saxophone. He does secular music. He likes it. Or the trumpet or something he plays, some instrument. He knows that's a sin. So I have said things to him. I mean, I ain't say things to him. I have heard him say things about himself also. But you also got to think about who he's talking to. He's also talking to the people in his congregation. I don't be in his church. You don't be in his church. And neither one of us are inside of his congregation. Right? And if those people decide to want to be in there, he is leading his flock to where it needs to be led to. I'm not going to judge him for that. Because he still is using the word. The delivery, I get it. Jesus Christ did say you got to be compassionate too, right? But when you look at that too, I don't think John the Baptist was that compassionate. He was in the damn woods screaming, right or wrong. So it's up to how you interpret it. We got to stop. I believe that we need to stop worrying about the delivery and think of the message. Because what he says, a lot of times, is it wrong? I haven't heard. I don't. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. But it's kind of hard to disagree with someone when they're reading directly from the source. I cannot. You can tell me that this is just an analogy. You can tell me you 40 years old. I can say, man, I don't believe you. And then Jenny's sitting there telling me something about, well, this is his birth certificate right here, and I'm reading it. He's 40 years old. I'm going to say, no, it's not. That sounds crazy. You know what I mean? So it's the delivery is what bothers people when it comes to Geno Jennings. That's all that bothers them about it, And a lot of people don't like to hear hard truths. The church should be, God's house should be a place for the sick, a place for the broken. How can you get prepared if you're gonna sit there and you can't fix yourself, but then you're gonna sit there and criticize the doctors who can fix you?
That's what I'm just telling you. I mean, that's the whole thing I'm telling you about Geno Jennings. But you say you can tell everybody else about what they're doing wrong, but you can't get up there and say, hey, I'm doing this wrong. Because we all gonna be sinners.
Yeah,
we all sinners. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm sure that's his sin. I just gave you an example of it.
And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people just haven't been back to church, man. Because
you think that the reason why you think that they're being singled out, that they're being
they're being self-correcting. They're self-correcting their own lives now. I mean, they don't need the pastor to tell me, you know what I'm saying, what I need to do. I've been cooped up in this house for 2 years. And I've been in the Bible now. I know what my mistakes is. I can self-correct myself. You know what I'm saying? And most people now go to church just to see the choir and hear a good sermon or whatever,
If that's what you, if you really feel, if that's what you feel, then guess what? Good for you. That's your relationship with God.
No, I'm saying the statistic shows that the church has dwindled about 50%. Like, I mean, you can go into any church, man.
I can believe that.
You can go in any church and see, they got people sitting in certain seats just to make it not look too empty,
The thing is that you can't tell the good passes from the bad ones. So that's another reason why too. So it's but you don't go there for everybody's not built for the pulpit. So it's just different to me. I mean, I don't have right now to this day. I don't have a church home, and the reason why I don't is because I'm very particular about it. Very particular. Now I'll go to any church that I feel, I can go to, I've been to different churches, just walk in, don't know a soul in there, but it's something that I needed that day. And I felt that was the way for me to get it. And most times I got it.
Yeah.
So
I would love to still go to church. I just don't want to be everyday church. I just don't want to be like every day. And I love church, man. I used to sing in church every Sunday. 2-3 songs a Sunday. But I kind of found a peace. I found an inner peace. Not saying that I don't need the church. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I don't want to be a part of a church. I would still love to visit a church.
Well, you have a gift, and you with your voice and everything, Robert. So it's and you know what to do with it. You know what to do with it. It's up to you how you do with it. What you do with it. Nobody else can nobody else between you and God. That's it.
And I'm gonna go back to something you said about going to church as a requirement. It isn't a requirement. I think we grew up with being told you got to go to church. Our parents pushed us to go. But I know the word of God says, and I think people may take this particular scripture into I guess in the play when they're talking about this, when it says, do not forsake assembling with other believers. But that doesn't mean a church building, like what we know. For not forsaking the assembly with other believers could be for people that that are believers, and you have a Bible study. It's not the building itself that you have to go to where you're going through all these rituals. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that part. I think some things are stretched out where it's like that means you have to go to a building every Sunday. If you don't go, you're going to hell. There are some people that do go to church every Sunday, and my God, you wouldn't even know that they're Christians.
Are y'all? Can y'all see the comments being posted?
I don't see anything.
For some reason they're not posting comment, but I can see it on my phone. And Trina Butler has a question. She says, so when y'all die, should your eulogy be at home if you don't have a church family?
Well, only thing I could say to that is right now I'm not attending a physical church on any regular. I'm not saying that I won't ever go back, so I can't really answer that because it's a good question, but I just know right now I'm not physically attending a church. I do go to Bible study. So when I pass away, if I ain't gone back to church yet, I'm sure my family will put me in a church and they'll do a eulogy. I'm sure.
Well, my answer to that is that most folks are getting their doing their funerals at funeral homes anyway. Where they paying the people at. I guess that's what it is. Wherever you get eulogized by the people who you paying, right? So anyway, your eulogy should be done by someone who really knows you anyway. So a lot of people are being eulogized by people who don't really know them. A lot of these pastors who's doing these funerals, they reading off the obituary as they eulogizing the person. You know what I'm saying? So they really don't know the person who they're eulogizing in the first place.
They're just doing it. They're doing it because of the fact that it looks good. It's a nice funeral. They had a nice funeral.
Yeah, exactly. They doing a favor for a mother who's a member of the church or a family member who's a member of the church. They don't know the person laying in the casket. They just read, we gonna miss brother Tony. You know what I'm saying? And they really don't know the people, Trina. But here's the thing though. If you love your fellow brother, man, you should do it anyway. If you're a part of that community, people shouldn't have to go to your church for the pastor to eulogize them. The part of the church is to be part of the community. The churches back in the days used to be like the community meeting place. Churches today, most churches in these neighborhoods, I say maybe like 2% of the people who go to those church do not live it. Only 2% of those people who go to that church live in that community. Most of the people who go to these churches, they do not live in that community. They coming from outside. They just bought the space to build the church. So to me, I think churches are dysfunctional anyway. They're dysfunctional because they're not there for the community that is in. That's my opinion. You know, I went to a church and we never did community outreach. And I used to always say, why don't we do community outreach? We got people living right around us. You know what I'm saying? But most of the people who went to the church, when church was over, everybody went to Cobb County, DeKalb County, and they lived in different places far out. And nobody actually lived in that community where the church was. And I think most churches are like that no one lives in the community where the church is being built. So the community is never being rebuilt because nobody in the community actually go to the church. And nobody's being built up spiritually around that church. So let's be honest about that. You know what I'm saying?
What is in your example, what is the why aren't the people in the community going to that church?
I have no idea. Because the people in the church never does outreach. People think people just gonna show up at church. People don't just show up at church. You have to go to people in love and say, look, let us help you. Let us help you spiritually. Let us help build you spiritually. And if we can build you spiritually, you'll build everything else around yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like financially and all that stuff. I think a strong spiritual person can really build his own life up if you built up spiritually. And a lot of people in that community is not built up spiritually. They don't have a spiritual sense about anything. That's why everything around them is bad. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen
lost hope?
Yeah. You ever seen surrounded of a church? You got the church and everything around the church is dilapidated. That church is not a part of that community. It just sits in that community. It just uses that property.
So can I ask you something? Can a church building be somewhat of a beacon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a beacon. But the light got to shine. You know, a lighthouse is just...
That's what a beacon is.
Yeah, a lighthouse is just a lighthouse. Right?
Yeah.
If ain't no beacon up there shining, the ship's still going to be running in you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that light, if they see that, my point is this: if they see that light, if a ship is still crashing, right? That's because that's bad navigation. That's bad navigation skills. So with the people that see the beacon in the middle of their neighborhood and they choose not to go to this beacon because they're not ready to come and they just don't think that they either they don't believe it or anything. Now to double down on your point, though, Robert. The church members, the people within that church, you're right. They need to reach out to and extend the olive branch.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
That is the light.
Yeah, and I get so you know, in all fairness to your point, that is true.
Yeah, that is the light. That's the light, man.
Yeah.
You know, you reach out into the community and fellowship. Mm-hmm. Go have a cookout. Go have cookouts in the community. That's how you
think reach people. Do you think church members are scared at all? Anything like that?
I think somewhat I think somewhat they're not scared. They're just I wouldn't call it scared. I say they're skeptical of the people in the community. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it scared, but they're skeptical of the community people that surrounds them. Okay. You know.
Anyone who wants to come to God, Christ, whatever you want to call them, right? The door should always be open to that person. That's Matthew 7:7-8. Ask, you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be open to you. Right? So if they are doing it themselves, right? Because you have free will. That's very much so in the book of Job.
Yeah, we got free will, but what is free will?
No, I'm not blaming just them. I'm not blaming the people in the church. I'm not putting blame anywhere. What I'm doing is showing that there's a shared collective responsibility to each other. And it seems like to me that both parties, the church and the people, are not on the same page.
No, I disagree. I think the responsibility is to the people who know better.
That's true. You can lead a horse to
Well,
water.
it's the people, the people who's supposed to know better.
Yeah.
You know what
If
I'm
I
saying?
go, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If I sit there and tell you to come over here, this is the church open, the door's open, come get saved, whatever, and you decide not to do it, I'm not gonna grab you by your head and push you in there.
Did Christ have a standing building, or did he travel around?
He traveled around.
He traveled around because he knew people weren't gonna come to him. In order for him to get his words out, he was gonna have to go to some people sometime.
Well, that's what I said.
And
that's what I said. I said that there is a disconnect there between the church and the people. You understand what I'm saying?
The people in the church.
The people in the church. You get what I'm saying? They don't get it. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I get what you're thinking. You think I'm talking about the people out in the streets.
In the community, yeah.
Okay, no. I'm with the people.
Okay. I got you.
Okay, so with that being with that, they need to sit down and reevaluate what it is that they want to do. Well, not they. The pastor needs to let people know what he wants to do for his flock. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's the leader, he's the shepherd, right?
Yeah.
He's the leader, right?
Let me give you an example. Right here on Six Flag Drive. You got what's the name of the church, right? Word of Faith. That church is packed every Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to bet you only about 1% of the people in that church lives in that community. And when the church is over with, they got the cops out there getting the people on the expressway as soon as they can. Get on the expressway so they can get home.
It's a mega church.
It's a mega church. Yeah, it's a mega church.
Yeah.
What you have is the people in the church. It's not taking care of the people in the community. That is what the purpose of the church is, in my opinion. It's to take care of the community. It's supposed to be a storehouse for that community. But when church is over with, you got the police getting these people on the expressway as soon as possible. These people trying to get to their destination. You know, they ain't thinking about the people in the community. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think the churches are dysfunctional. They're dysfunctional.
So let me ask you this. What do the people feel like when they see that? The people out there in the community. What do they feel like when they see these people come from that comes from other parts of the of Atlanta, right? Because I assume it's what you're talking about, right? And they come into their neighborhood, worship, and then get escorted by police out. What do the people in that community, what do they say to themselves? Do you know? Do y'all know?
I don't. Because where the church sits, it sits like right off the interstate. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can't answer that.
But my thing is, but there's no community outreach. There's nobody walking the streets. There's no group of people going up. But you got white people going door to door.
Yeah, they do.
I've seen more white people outreach in my community than black people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You see what?
I've seen more white people doing outreach in my community than I've ever seen black people doing it.
Okay.
And
so is that a church thing and Christ thing, or is that a people thing?
I don't know. Now I'm just saying. Here's what I'm saying. Man. Here's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna build up the kingdom, how are we gonna ever do it if we don't? If we get the knowledge, if we don't share it with nobody.
Yeah.
If we get the knowledge and we know where these people are or where we used to be, right? Mm-hmm. And now we got the knowledge, but we're not trying to help them, guide them. We're not being a beacon to them so they can get the knowledge.
Okay.
And make their lives better and make their communities better. That's how you fix the community. That's how crime go down. When we give people the knowledge, man. A lot of people have never met Christ, man, so they don't know what Christ can do for them. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you wholeheartedly when it comes to that. You know, the only thing I'm going to say is this: is that that's not a Christ thing, that's not a church thing, that's the people's thing.
And unfortunately, we got churches on every corner. If you go up and down Bankhead Hollow, which is Donald Lee Hollowell, you got a church like every mile. And I'm willing to bet you only 2% of the people in all those churches live on that street. They all live out somewhere. They all live out. They don't take care of the community. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the church is failing at. The people in the church, you know what I'm saying? They're not reaching out to people in the community to make the community a better place because all the resources are in the church. Think about it. Think about all up and down. Think about how much money Word of Faith gross a year.
I don't.
I mean, I'm saying you got the financial resources. The community has the financial resources. It's just the resources are going out. You know
So
what I mean?
you think that the final resources that you're getting is to keep the church upkeep and up to everyone else besides what's inside the community?
Yeah, the funding that they get in their church is not to edify their community. It's not edifying the community that is in. You see what I'm saying? That's my point.
So what you're saying is that the people who come from out of town, right, and different neighborhoods, they go to church in, say, that neighborhood, right, and they're giving out that money for this particular church that they go to in that neighborhood, and the people that live in that neighborhood aren't doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
I can see it. And Sharon said people got to want to change. I agree with you, Sharon. I agree with you. But here's the thing about change. If you don't know what change could look like, you're not going to want change. A lot of people don't know what it means to have change. Because they've been doing the same. Yeah, they don't know what it means to have change because they haven't seen anything different. They haven't hung around a lot of different people who can rub off on them and say, I would love to live the life that person living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What would it take for these churches to say, look, y'all, we're not having church Sunday. We all gonna meet in this community. We're gonna have a big barbecue and we're gonna talk to these people out here. And we're going to love on them.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you the question real quick when it comes to that? Are the people that go to this church you're talking about, are they black or are they white or is it a good mixture or what is it?
It's mostly, I would say it's mostly black people, but it's still other races there.
Okay,
but
so
I'm not just talking about black churches. I'm talking about churches, period. It could be a white church. It can be a white church.
Yeah, you know but you just said before
but most white churches are in affluential neighborhoods. They're in neighborhoods that doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But most of the black churches are in black poor neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm making this point.
There is a responsibility for the church to the community. 100% correct. But you are 1,000% correct.
But that's not happening. It might happen during like Thanksgiving. They'll give out a basket. Mm-hmm. But life goes on 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying?
Has anyone ever said that to the pastor there?
I don't think people are afraid to challenge their pastors.
It's not a challenge. It's an observation. It's
they look at it. They look at it as a challenge because the pastor gonna take it as a challenge.
Okay, well then that's something that he has to deal with, and then it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to that church either.
Because we are trained to look at a pastor as next to God. You know what I'm saying?
I don't go to a church because of the pastor. I go to church for me.
Well, I agree. That might be for you.
Yeah, I'm talking about for me. That's what I'm saying.
That might be for you. But I think a lot of people are reluctant to challenge, to tell the pastor what he needs to be doing. You know what I'm saying? We could be doing.
Well, it's not about needing to be doing. An idea doesn't necessarily tell them what to do. It's just an idea to throw out there. That's all. A church is more, can be very democratic in nature. You understand what I'm saying?
And God is going to judge them by what they do for the least of these.
Yeah.
What did you do for the least of these?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand these words, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think you can tell your pastor. You should be able to tell your pastor something. You see an observation and something's troubling you and it's on your heart. Then that's something that you can be able to tell your pastor. It doesn't mean you're attacking them. They just go to him a certain way. Hey, pastor, blah, 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 blah. There's a I see in the community, we don't reach out enough. Is there any way we can get something together? Hell, I'll lead it myself. Where we can go ahead and because a lot of people do come with a lot of problems but no solutions, or they also don't want to come with their own type of. They don't want to come with their own time. Tell them, listen, I'll lead it myself.
And it has to be an avenue. Yeah, it has to be an avenue, because some of these pastors, you can't really get to them. You hope there's a suggestion box somewhere, because some of them are hard to get to.
That's cool, but I'm sure that there's a person that knows the pastor.
Yeah.
So you can put that out and get people with like-mindedness on that. Because guess what? A lot of them probably do feel that way too. They probably feel a certain way. A lot of them will probably feel that way too. They're just afraid to say it.
Yeah.
This might be something that God is calling for you to do, Robin. And
exactly. And that's been on my heart, man, to do get a lot of groups of 50 men, get men to group up in 50s. And we just go into the community. We have to. I think a lot of people who call themselves Christians have to look within themselves.
Do y'all give out flyers? Do y'all give out flyers or some type of not even flyers, some type of notification, little books maybe with gospel with the word in it, giving out to people in the community? Do y'all do that? Just ask for volunteers. Do it on your own. You didn't get to involve the church. You can do it yourself.
I think fellowshipping, to me, I think is the most effective way you can reach people.
Oh yeah. I think so too.
You know what I'm saying? I think fellowshipping is the most effective
I fellowship all the time.
You can reach people.
Exactly.
But it's for something else. Yeah.
So like I say, instead of going to the church, hey, look, y'all, we gonna meet right here. Deep, y'all bring y'all grills. We going down here, Bankhead Court. You know what I'm saying? And we finna set up.
Why don't you put the church's name up there? Put it up there. Say such and such. What's it called? God of faith. What do you call it? Faith of what?
Word of faith.
The word of faith. I think I've seen that church.
Man, that'll sue me. That'll sue me.
Get the approval of the church though, if you can. That's what I'm talking about. And I obviously do it legally and see what happens. Ask your church. Ask you. You don't never know until you ask, man. The worst they can do is say no.
You're right. You're absolutely
I don't know the people in your church, so I can't say nothing about it.
Well, I don't go. I'm not a member of Word of Faith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just saying he's used it as an example. Yeah.
I just use it as an example. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, whatever church you go to, if it's a church that you go to and you see that, let them know. If not, speak with certain people in the community.
That's pretty much all churches, man. That's pretty much all churches.
Atlanta's is something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon said, Word of Faith is an awesome ministry. Sharon, I'm not knocking the ministry. And I think we how do I want to say this? What is an awesome ministry? What is an awesome ministry? What do you consider an awesome ministry? You know what I'm saying? What did you consider an awesome ministry? Are you just going to take care of the people who come to you? Are you going to go out and save people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want to say something. So I want to be clear. My history with going to church has been my entire life. I'm putting myself out there. I was a member of a particular church for 17 years. I was a deaconess in the church, heavily involved, a mega church, well-known church, heavily involved. I had cell groups that I had to work with, that I was over with my husband at the time when we were together. And I've seen the inner workings of it. And so when I speak and say some of the things I say, it's from my experiences. Like I said, I've been in church my whole life, served very heavily in the church, sang in the choir, women's groups, all that stuff. I've done those things. And so when COVID came around, where I'm trying to go with it is that when COVID came, I was able to just sit with myself, because the church that I did go to went through a lot of issues and stuff. And I had to walk away from that and find myself in it and say, you know what, whoever runs this church, whatever issues they're having, I can't judge their life. Only God can truly judge the totality of that person's life. But where am I in this? Because I was somebody up under that. So when I stepped away from it, I had to get to a place where I said, okay, am I following a pastor or am I following God? So whatever mistakes this man has made, God, deals with him. He's forgiven. However, his life went in the end, that was between him and God. But for me, I had to understand, what is my one-on-one relationship with God? I can run to church every Sunday. I was there every Sunday morning, every Sunday evening. I was there throughout the week. I was at choir rehearsal. I did it all, I promise you. And so at this point in my life, I'm okay with the quiet time that I have with God. I do have Bible studies that I go to. And I do understand what I, do in my prayer time with God when I read. And I do have friends that I would say I can lean on to help assist me in my walk and learning more about the Lord, because it's an ever growing relationship. It never gets dull. You can always learn something new about God every single day. So right now, until I go back, I'm good with where I'm at. And I don't not going to church because, again, I was heavily in it. I was there constantly. But the thing is that now that I've understood more from being in a quiet place with God, now, because I would like to go back, but when I do, I'll be in a whole different place than where I was before, and I'm mindful that, you have to go where you're led. You go somewhere where you feel will serve you with what your needs are. If you need to learn more about the gospel of God, of Christ, then you go. If you want to have a certain type of other experience, whether it's the entertainment part, it's out there. But you can go to church, get the praise and worship. You can network a little bit, but the main reason is you're learning about God, you're learning about Christ, so that you can teach other people and help them. Because the whole goal is for everybody to be better within themselves. Because we all got to leave here one day, and we don't want to see people that we know and love pass away. And we could have said more. The Word of God says those who win souls, they're wise people. You're not trying to make anybody believe. They have to have a desire and want to change, but you can be a catalyst to help them. You can just, be there, whether it's the way you live, whether it's the word that comes to you and God inspires you and you tell them, hey, whatever God is leading you to tell this person. I mean, there are ways that God can use us, but the building itself is not so much your salvation. Your salvation is your one-on-one walk with Christ. You go to a building with fellowship with other believers, that's great. Because I did it. I don't not going to church. I'm just not actively in a church right now. But I did it for years, and I understand the importance of it. But you have to also know yourself and where you are in your walk with God and what you need. And if you go into a church that's not teaching you and you feel like you're just going and you're just on this emotional high and you ready to go back the next Sunday for another emotional high because you gone through a rough week. I've been there. I've done it. Going to church every Sunday, and just going through the motions of I had a bad week, and then I'm feeling like I need to be, soothed. I need to know that I'm understood. I need to know that God, hears me, and he'll show himself even in that. At the same time, what about when you can't go? We saw that during COVID. So when you couldn't go, how were you connecting with God? You weren't able to go into a building. So how were you connecting with God when they did shut everything down? So I think there was a beautiful aspect to the COVID period, because you were able to sit with yourself, with God, and say, okay, I'm not around a whole bunch of people. It's just me. And when I'm praying, there's nobody with their hand on my shoulder praying with me. I've been there. I've done it. I've prayed for people, just done the things that come with church, interactions. But when you're by yourself, what's happening with you? So I think, if you go to church, great. If you don't right now, as long as you have a close walk with God and then you get back in there, just go somewhere where it works for you, where you feel led and that serves your spirit as you need it. So I don't knock church. I just want to put that out there because I've been on both sides of the fence.
I don't knock church either. I'm not knocking anybody's ministry. I'm just saying, what next? What if is going to church and preaching to the people who show up? If that's it, if that's all. That's all. That's all Christ did. It all Christ do? Just stayed in one spot and just wait on the people to come to him? No, he went and preached to other people. He went and preached to people. He probably, they didn't like him. They didn't want him there. You know what I'm saying? He was radical, and I think Christians today not radical enough. You know what I'm saying? They pacify Christians. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people think, oh, he's doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But God like this. God will shake things up, man. You know, he go in there and turn the table over in the church. You know what I'm saying? He'll go in there and turn that table over in them. You know what I'm saying? And I think God is in a place now where he said, I got too many chickens. I got too many chickens. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody radical enough. Yeah. In the world going to hell because I think it's the Christians. We know we both know better. The world going to hell in the handbasket because we just going in that building every week.
Yeah.
We going in that building every week to hear that word, and then we go back to our dwellings.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you,
man.
Right, and I tell you, being deeply involved in the mega ministry at the time that I saw a lot of stuff, and I'm like, this is what goes on in here. It's no better than outside of these doors. I mean, so it's really a lifestyle. Like, you know, we may not want to look at it that way, but it's really a lifestyle. It's how are you living every day? Again, you're not going to be perfect yet. You won't be until you pass away, you know, when you get in that new glorified state. But what you're doing is every day you're striving to be better, and you want to surround yourself with people that are like that. And then the people that you can help, that, you know, they'll come to you. You know, you can't, you know, preach people down and think that they're going to want to hear it if they ain't ready for it. But what you do is your lifestyle reflects God. And when you are dealing with people who have questions, you know, if you know whatever they're asking, you have the answer. If you don't know it, just say, hey, I don't know it. I'm still learning about that. Because, you know, people will come to me and ask me certain things. And if I don't know it yet, I'll just say, I'm not really sure about that right now. I'll get back with you. You know, but if it's something that I'm clear and I know that I understand, I will be more than happy to share it to the level that they want to hear it, to the extent that they want to hear it, because we're supposed to share. You don't keep it to yourself. When you're representing a business or anything, you don't keep it to yourself. You're trying to get more people in. And it's just for the betterment of a person's life, their soul. Because if you care about somebody's soul, you don't want to be worried about them. You want to help them if you can. So, you know, that's just something that comes with your everyday life, whether you're actually in a church building on Sunday or not. Because really, when we come to church, we're really kind of pumping each other up. So when we get back out there on Monday through Saturday, we're really helping other people.
And I think about the preacher who got robbed in church. Preacher got robbed in church. You know, his church is in the community. He put it up in church in a bin, in a rose. Now you put it up in a poor neighborhood in a rose in the church. You ain't putting that in the community. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean when I speak I don't mean no harm. It's just stuff that I observe that I just speak on. And people look at me like, oh, he like to rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? He like to rock the boat. I just see stuff, and I'm pretty sure y'all see stuff that y'all be want to speak on, but y'all don't be. No, I ain't gonna go there with them. You know what I'm saying?
No, do you know who you sort of sound like?
Say what?
You sound like Pastor Geno Jennings. That old troublemaker.
Right? You know, Jennings is tough though. He's real tough. I've listened to him before, and I'd be like, "Ouch," because his delivery is, ooh,
it's delivery. That's what it is. It's delivery. That's what get him. That's what.
And I'm gonna say this.
I think he know he's putting on a show. I think he know people. A lot of people watch him for that. You know, he does it for show. I think he does that for show. He invite people. He invite gay people to come on and challenge him and all that. I mean, all this is for clicks. You know what I'm saying?
You know, some people need that type of.
I was gonna say that.
Some people need that type of stuff. Me personally, mean, when I see all this, and the Lord says, or I'm like, yo, man, nah, dude, you better be a little bit better than that. That ain't for me. You
But
understand what I'm
you're
saying?
right. You're absolutely right. Some people need it that way. And again,
Mhm.
this is where you have to have discernment when you're one-on-one with people. Now, when you're standing
Ah.
before a crowd of people, you
Mhm.
don't know it's a mixture of people out there. You just have to take your chances with offending somebody. But when it's like a one-on-one, there's a scripture that says something about you have to speak words seasoned with grace, meaning no judgment, with tolerance, to the point where
What you said it again?
you have understanding. You know what I'm saying?
You have to speak what?
Well, it's no judgment, and
With
it's
grace.
seasoned with grace. Yes. Season with grace just means no
What
judgment.
that mean?
I'm
No
telling
judgment.
you, it means without judgment, understanding that that person is in a weak place. And so you're pretty much speaking in a loving way. Loving doesn't mean you're soft voiced and all that, but
It
I'm
doesn't
saying,
mean that at all.
right, it just means that you're speaking in a way that gives them the grace to be able to think about it and not feel ashamed, like, dang, they just chewing me out. Because sometimes the person is so broken that if you just barrel down on them, like in a very judgmental way, sometimes that'll make a person go the other way in the worst way. You know what I'm saying? You could say something to a person and they'll start crying, and that'll bring a change to them that probably will be a little quicker than somebody who just like barreling down on you with harsh delivery. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has something that they're still working on every day. I do. I don't know nobody that don't. I just don't.
Sometimes people, we didn't got so sensitive in a lot of different ways, even in religion seem to, but, just because someone tells you the truth doesn't necessarily mean they judge me either.
That's
If
true.
I
That's
if
true.
I go out there, and rob a bank, right?
I think how you tell
And
me
my
the
pastor
truth
says
matters.
your ass should not be robbing banks. Why
Well,
am I gonna
that's
say, well, why are you
obvious.
judging me? You actually
I mean,
did it.
that's
You
obvious.
yeah, but people, I've never seen Pastor General. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You
I've
know
never
he had
heard
to
him.
be like, it's
Listen
gonna
to
be a
what I'm saying.
crazy analogy on this show eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. But let me tell you this. I've watched a couple of his sermons, right? I never once heard him look at someone in his congregation and say, you did this and I'm pulling you out. What he did say though was this: you can't be going to, you can't, come to here dressed this like this. I can't tell if you're from the club, and you shouldn't be able to tell the difference. You should be able to tell the difference between the club and the person that comes to the church. That's what he does say. He generalizes what he says.
right. He does.
But obviously, his dog does holler. So if you know that you're not doing it, who's he talking to? He ain't talking to you. What you getting offended by? And he never says anybody's name. I never heard him say anybody's name, except
No,
for
he
people.
doesn't do that.
Except for people in the spotlight, like he'll talk about Trump and
Yeah, that's calling people names.
yeah.
The spotlight.
No, I'm talking about people that come to. You know
So-
what I'm saying?
I
Y'all know what I'm saying.
I heard a sermon he said about my son.
Oh,
I heard a sermon that he said about my
And you
son.
took that personally, didn't you?
You damn right I took that person. That's my goddamn flesh and blood.
listen. Listen. He don't even.
I'm like,
He don't even
you
know you.
You tell me, but I know it though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But everybody he talk about, they have family members too. You talk about you, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Talk about what you do. See,
Right.
you can't save nobody. You can't see. Here's the thing: we have no power. We don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So, in order for you to help me, you tell me how you got through your thing. Tell me how you got through your sin.
Can I ask you
how you overcame what you were going through? You can't
Can I
help
ask
me
you
by. You
something?
know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something. What is the difference between him saying something about your son when it came to that and someone else who is not? Is it because he's in a position of power or leadership? Is that what bothers you the most about it?
Not what bothers me the most about it, because he's supposed to be a pastor. He's supposed to be a person to teach.
So
he's
a
supposed to
regular
be he's supposed to be a teacher. He's supposed to be, he's supposed to show people the way. You know what
So
I'm saying?
a regular person that can say that and it won't bother you at all.
No, I'm not. You know what he said didn't bother me. But what I had to say, okay, you point out your shit. You know what I'm saying? You're a pastor. You're in the pulpit. Point out tell people where you went wrong at and how you saved yourself. You know, how did you save you? See, you can't tell me, you can't fix me by telling me how he saved somebody else. You can't. It's like a drunk. When people go to get fixed for cocaine and alcohol, the people who teaching them are the people who did it. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So you can't tell me, you can't fix me by telling me how what I'm doing wrong. You can fix me by telling me what you did wrong and how you was able to
he didn't
fix
say
yourself.
what you did wrong. He said something about your son, not you.
Okay, the same thing. You're talking about somebody else. You're not talking about yourself.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Just preach the Bible. Preach the Bible and let it be that. I don't care what everybody in your church, no matter what you say, you hitting somebody.
You say preach the Bible?
Yeah, preach the Bible. You're going to hit everybody in the church.
Okay.
And even in yourself. If you preach the Bible, you're hitting everybody anyway. We'll call everybody out by name.
He just has a harsh delivery, because I heard a sermon one time, and I'm just throwing this as an example. I'm not saying nothing more. So he did a sermon he talked about women and how they look and stuff like that. And he said something about women wearing fingernail polish. And he was kind of really like jesting, but it was kind of, to me, I don't know. I didn't get offended, but he was like saying that women wear colors on their toes and their fingernails, they look like clowns and stuff. And I'm saying to myself, that's most women wear fingernail polish. Now, do
you think a lot of women were offended by that?
Well, probably did.
So how is he helping the kingdom? By offending people, turning them away from Christ. And that is my point. The purpose is not to turn people away from Christ, it's to draw people into Christ. That's my whole point about that. If you're pissing people off by preaching, you're turning people off. You're turning people away from where they should be going. And that is my whole point. You know what I'm saying?
In the Bible, it says that everyone is not going to be coming into the kingdom of heaven, is it? Isn't that what it says in the Bible too?
Yeah, that includes him.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah,
okay. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It just has to be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
It may.
And see, like you see how you just use the Bible to at your convenience. And that's
because
what
you just said.
And that's what we do. We use the Bible to prove our point. You know what I'm saying? And I can say God, and I can tell us we got one job, to love everybody.
I got a question.
And to go to people in love, you got to go to people in love.
I got a question. Are there any accounts? Please help me out, because I haven't read the whole Bible fully yet. Are there any accounts of Jesus ridiculing anybody?
Ridiculing?
He called people out, but I'm talking about ridiculing. Like,
you mean did he ever do something to like chastise his people?
No, I'm talking about ridicule.
Ridiculing?
Ridicule is a little different from chastising.
No, like I haven't heard of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I don't know
because I will say, like, as a teacher, when I'm in the classroom and there's a student that's doing something they shouldn't do, there's two ways I can go about it. I can say, Johnny, you shouldn't do this. You should go sit down and you do your work. Or I could say, you know what? You so stupid. You over here, you're not doing your work. You need to go sit down somewhere. Everybody else is sitting down while you over here. That's ridiculing as opposed to chastising. You see what I'm saying? So if he wanted to talk, and this is my example, if he wanted to talk about women and certain things that we wear, he should have maybe touched on the scriptures about modesty. There are scriptures about that, but he didn't have to say women who wear fingernail polish, they looking like clowns. And even when it's on your toes, I don't care what color it is, you looking like a clown. And I'm saying to myself, if you
because he's using the Bible to enrich himself. He's not trying
to. It's a way to do it. It's just a way to do it.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's kind of like he's gonna always give his congregation what they want. He's gonna feed the beast. He's gonna always feed his people what they want. Like Trump, he's gonna always tell his people what he want. He don't care about what the other people think. You know what I'm saying? He knows his people go, oh look, y'all heard your Jenna said.
I do believe that
he's like what the skinny dude, what the skinny dude everybody talking about Charles, what his name? The Charles dude. The skinny dude.
Oh, he's a Charleston White.
Yeah, he's like the Charleston White of the pulpit to me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's like Charleston White of the pulpit.
Charleston White is.
He say stupid.
He'll say different.
I don't know.
I'm not saying
you reaching on that.
I'm not saying he is Charleston. He's a Charleston White of the pulpit.
Reach to heaven.
You know what I'm saying? He can't go that. He can't go that far with it. You know what I'm saying? But he put a little shocking all between the verses.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question though?
You know what I'm saying?
Does he say more good than bad though?
Who, Gina?
Yeah.
I
think he said a lot of good, but
yeah, for sure.
But the antics, it crosses out what he does. It X's out the word. He X's out the word when he put himself into it. You see what I'm saying? Like I can tell you, I can say, Stanford, you do a great job.
Yeah.
On your job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do a great job, but I think you overpaid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I told you you're doing a good job, but I told you overpaid.
I don't care. I don't care what you think. Because I know my worth already, so I ain't worried.
But the average person gonna say, don't look and say.
I get your point.
Thank you, but damn. It's like a thank you, but damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how Gino Jennings is. It's we hear the word, but we're talking about what you're doing. Exactly what we're doing. We're talking about the shock and awe stuff he said. We discussed not one word that he said in the Bible. We're talking about all the other stuff he do. And that's what
that's because that's what you hear. And like I said, that's because you pay attention to the delivery. It's not nothing to do with what he's saying. Because he does repeat. He does it over and over again.
But that's my point. Most people talk about the other stuff.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? We do that throughout life all the time, right? First, what you're saying that you're not gonna listen to, is his delivery, and then you're saying, but what, like you said to me just now, but what about what you do? That's what you said, right? If you're gonna say that, right? And this is a little bit off, but it's very similar.
I know where you're going.
If
you're gonna say that, we can't say nothing to women when we correct them on something, and then they say to us, "Well, what about you?"
No, see, you talking about.
That's what you just did.
We're talking about the kingdom, man, and we're not talking about a personal relationship. You're talking about a personal relationship.
Yeah,
and
you said.
You see, we're talking about the kingdom of God, man, and you don't narrow it down to a personal relationship. We're not talking about that.
I'm talking about the sentiment.
The question is, what does being a Christian
sentiment
is in today's society? I think your analogy. I get your analogy, but it's very small. It's very small.
I'm just throwing it out.
It's very minute in what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you, man. Now he is, like I said, his delivery and some of his antics I don't agree with. I like a lot of things he say. Because I am disciplined enough. You know what? I take that back. In my opinion, I pay attention to what the message he's really trying to put out. Now, he's not going to get everyone. It's sort of like kids or people. Sometimes people have to make decisions. You got to save one or two people, right? You got to save a certain amount of people for the greater good. You're not going to reach everyone. If you got 10 people, 10 rotten people, right, and you was able to save one of those rotten people, is it worth what you did? Is it worth it? You was able to save one, though. Isn't that what God also did with Sodom and Gomorrah when he spoke to Abraham?
What did he say?
When Abraham asked him, he said, "Listen, if there's was it 110, and he said, if there's one person."
He kept going up though, didn't he?
No, he went down. He went no.
Well, he
went down.
Yeah, he went down.
Right,
he went down. Yeah.
Exactly. He went all the way down to 1.
Yeah.
He said, if there's one person, will you let? He said, yeah, because you asked, so be it. You see what I'm saying? So if Geno Jennings not going to reach everyone, he's not. He's going to reach the amount that he can reach,
And that's just the way it goes. I mean,
and that's just how it is.
yeah.
You go to a pastor. I explained that. I expressed that when I said I can't
He's
deal with certain pastors.
He's not going to say everyone, but he don't have to deter a lot of people.
That's fine.
Deterring a lot of people.
With the ones that he
You know
deters,
what I'm saying? Because he want to
the
put on the
pastors
show.
you like,
Because
they
he's
can pick
not,
them up.
because he's not just preaching the word. He's preaching Geno Jennings' word too. He's mixing Geno Jennings.
No.
Yes, he is.
No,
he's
I'm not
mixing
gonna say
Geno
that.
Jennings. He's putting a little bit. He's putting his character into the word, right? Because the word don't be saying all the other. The word don't say that.
I think what you said was a. Yeah.
Where in the Bible does it say is your woman, your nails are ugly? Does it say that in the Bible?
Well, he was talking about.
No, you adding stuff. You using the Bible. You using. Now I'm just say he's using the Bible to boast how he feels personally, and God can't be pleased with that. And
okay, then this is what I agree with the fact that he should not have ridiculed the woman. That is something that he shouldn't do. I believe that. I agree with that. But he's taught in essence, the essence of the question, the comment is because you're not, he's saying the Bible is saying that you're not supposed to be wearing these things. Now, the ridiculing part, I get it. But what is he saying? Are women really supposed to be wearing a bunch of makeup? Are they? No. So, with that being said, he is still teaching the word, but he is also adding a little bit of.
No, you don't. You don't supposed to add. Don't add to the word.
No, he's not actually adding.
And that's why a lot of pastors mess up. They adding to the word.
Right.
Once you add to the word. Mm-hmm. You're going against God's will. You're going against God's will. You're teaching against the will of what God, the will of God will want you to teach you.
Do you know a pastor right now?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just asking.
See, now you're going to broaden it out to the rest of the pastor.
No, I'm asking
We're talking about that one pastor, particular pastor.
Well, you also talk about the pastor. You also talk about the pastor that was in that church in that neighborhood. You talking about
I get it. Geno is your pastor.
No, he's not. I like him though. I do like him.
You remind me of Jermaine when I talk about Trump. He get all the answer. You know, okay, you're conservative.
I'm just trying to make. I do like Geno Jennings. I do.
Oh man, it's 9:02. I'm rid of my mouth, man.
oh yeah. You ain't got the 2 hours, right?
Yeah, I'm rid of my mouth, man. But anyway, y'all, let's get the point. I love the conversation too. I like kind of like. I
like to hear. We all have.
I like trying to spark debate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I might believe the same thing y'all believe in, but I know it's somebody out there who think the way who think what I be saying sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to get people. You know what I'm saying?
What I like about you too is that you ain't afraid to say it. That's what's wild about it.
Yeah. I ain't afraid to say it. And a lot of times when I get off this show.
They hide behind some stuff. People do that a lot.
No, I'm not afraid to say it because I think sometimes things have to be said, even though if it's right or wrong. If it's right or wrong.
You mean like Geno Jennings, right?
Yeah. It's right or wrong. That's a good example. That's a good example. But my thing is, if we're gonna change the common man, the everyday people, we're gonna go to them in love.
You're right.
And we're gonna have to put ourselves at the altar. Sometimes you have to put yourself at the altar. You know what I'm saying? Look, you got to go to these people. Look, I used to be you. I can't ridicule you because I used to be you. And that's why I think his mistakes is. You have to let people know I used to be you, man. It's gonna be okay. You can make it out of this. You know what I'm saying? We can't get the knowledge, and all of a sudden we high and mighty.
Yeah.
Do
You know what I'm saying?
that,
Because I'm pretty sure Geno Jennings was 22 and smoking dope and all that stuff at one point.
he said it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you don't get the knowledge and switch. Get the knowledge.
He's saying it. That's
No,
why you
but-
upset.
Now my thing is when you get into ridiculing people,
That's a problem.
it's like you putting yourself above reproach.
But you know what though? Let me tell you this too though.
Instead you're supposed to lay yourself at
you
the
gotta think
altar
about
and say,
certain
look,
things too.
I love
First of all, he's from Philly. That's number one. So you gotta think
But
about
that
that
ain't
too.
That ain't God don't
Number
care
two
about
is-
God
number
don't
two
care
is
about
that
God don't care about
you-
where you from.
No, God don't, but we do. But and number two is this: is that our people sometimes don't listen, and sometimes you got to be that way. Am I lying about that?
I agree, but sometimes you gotta open
Sometimes
people.
you just can't come. You can't tiptoe because some people. Because then you'll talk about saying, "Man, just say what the hell you gonna say."
Let me say this.
And
Let-
you
let me-
know it.
Let me say this. Most folks can't hear with their ears. The best
You're
way
right.
to get the
They
best
hear
way to
their
get
feelings a lot. Yeah.
the best way to get people to hear you is through their heart.
Yeah.
That's why the song says, "Speak to my heart,"
Yes.
because you could tell me what you want to tell me.
Yes.
If my heart don't hear it, I ain't gonna feel it. So we gotta.
And I don't disagree with you, man. I don't
No,
disagree with you.
I'm not saying this. I'm giving you my opinion, so you might have to take it. We have to start speaking to people's heart, man. We got to go into these communities and speak to people's heart and stop chastising them about stuff that they doing that we used to do.
Dude, I don't think people going into the hood and be like, "Yo, man,
This is why they don't
doing?
go. This is why they don't go into the hood, because
Okay.
they don't see people. They don't see them as people. They see them as, you know what I'm saying. Look, I'm not speaking for everybody. You know what I'm saying. I'm not speaking for
No, I get what
everybody.
you're saying. I understand what
But
you're saying.
once we get as Christians, once we get into a place, most of us we forget about where we came from, and
People do fall into that trap.
they fall into that trap, and then they start looking down at the same people where you came, where you was amongst.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of going in there trying to reach them and grab them back out too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you
That
think that
is my
some
thing.
people are just not? Do you ever think are there people that you believe are just not reachable? You think a vast majority of people are not reachable?
That's their choice to not be.
I don't think in my
So your thing is
in my heart of heart, I don't think nobody.
do so,
I don't
at
think
least.
nobody is unreachable.
Oh, I
Now,
think
now,
that some people are not reachable.
some I think it take a little bit more, but
Well-
I think every man is reachable.
For my grasp, I should say.
You know what I'm saying?
I should say that like that.
If we're all children of God,
Yeah.
then we're all reachable.
There are some
Jeffrey
people
Dahmer
that
was
just
a
don't
children
be.
of God,
That's my
child of God
point.
too.
Huh?
Jeffrey Dahmer was a child of God. You think
And he's afforded the same
as
right.
hell, ain't
And you know what? He's afforded the same right of repentance as you and I.
You damn right he is.
But you
Because
said
child of
that.
God was forgiven. wasn't he?
But you said that as if he didn't.
No, I said that to let you know that sometimes we can't reach certain people. That's it.
No, but and I told you, he's afforded the same right as repentance as we are.
Yeah.
So he's reachable.
Mm.
Maybe not by us. You know what I'm saying?
So when
You
you
know?
say reachable, are you saying like where they will change or just being? Because
Oh,
I
where they
guess
would change, where you're able to reach them and they can change.
when no, and I guess that's kind of like trying to figure out how to interpret the question, because you
Yeah,
can
it's
tell
not-
it
yeah,
to
you're right.
everybody, but the choice at the end of the day is still that person's. Even if they heard it, some
Mhm.
people don't want to change, and in the Bible it will tell
Yeah.
you choose. God
Yeah.
tells us to choose. Period. Choose life or
Yes.
death. Choose. So
Yes.
it's always up to us.
That's right.
You can tell a
That's that
person
free will
all
thing.
day long.
Yes.
Some people just don't want it.
That's what I mean by reachable. That's what I
I
mean by
think
reachable.
I
That's
figured
what I
that's
meant by my hand. That's why I changed to my hand, because sometimes you just can't. You know, a vast
But
majority
I
of
see
people,
what
a
he
lot
was
of people
saying
are not
too. It's
reachable.
extended to everybody.
That's true too.
Right.
But you can't save. We can't save
Right.
everyone.
Right.
The person that can save the amount of people he needs.
No, I'm not saying we can save everyone. But I'm saying everyone can be saved. I don't know who's going to do it.
Well, yeah. No, everyone has the opportunity to be saved.
Exactly.
Everyone cannot be saved, man. Because if that was the case,
no, I think everybody can be saved, but everybody's not going to be saved. I think that what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
We're saying the same thing.
To say that everybody. No, we're not saying the same thing. You're saying that everybody can't be saved. I'm saying that everybody can.
Y'all are
saved.
saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing. I'm telling you, Robert. We're saying the same thing.
It's coming out different.
It's just coming out different. We're saying the same shit. I'm telling you, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I digress. You know what I'm saying? We say the same thing, y'all.
Right. Yeah.
We're saying the same thing.
Hey man, it's been nice, man. It's been a nice conversation, man. I like stuff like this, man. Even though we don't have like 10 top viewers at all in any given time. You know what I'm saying? Listen, y'all, if y'all paying attention, look, I would love y'all. I appreciate y'all watching the show, man. I really appreciate y'all 8, 9, 10 people, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I know I got more friends than 10 people. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I got a few friends too. I'm gonna start putting it out there more.
Yeah, I know I got more than 10. I know I got more than 10 friends who could take me for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Who could take what I got to say for 2 hours. I think I turned a lot of people out, man, because a lot of my thinking is contrary to what they think. You know what I'm saying? And people don't like to have their thoughts challenged.
I think that more people think like you too. They just not. Some of them are either scared to say it, or they just because they're in a certain circle.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And because trust me, I have a lot of friends who think like you thinking too. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of associates. They say the same stuff you say.
But they scared to say it in public.
Well, some of them.
Man, I got the whole DR Nation. They hate me, man. You know what I'm saying?
DR Nation?
I don't piss the DR Sabbath Nation off.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I can't even go in the sports group no more, man.
I don't know why they get pissed off to you. I don't understand that one. You can agree or disagree. What's wrong with that?
I don't sit there on opinion.
And I'm like a shark, man. Once I see the blood, I go in for the kill sometimes. And I just rub people the wrong way sometimes. But I do it in love, though, man. I like to have fun, man. I do it in love. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way I am, man. You know. People who know me, man, know I do everything in love, man. I love my people, man. I love my family, my community, man. And I just like to have fun. I just like to talk about stuff that I'll be telling my homeboy, man, we talk about the same stuff that we talk about on the show on the street anyway. You know, everybody got an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just respect mine, I respect yours. You know?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And that's all it is. You know, I respect your opinion.
People upset about it.
Respect mine. We got 3 different opinions right here.
Yeah.
You know? I lose out on most
some things.
I'm the oddball most of the time, but
yeah. Some things we got. I think in a general consensus, I think we sort of have the same opinion on some things, but I can tell y'all that's why we can talk to each other.
But I can tell y'all every time I get off, I really listen to y'all, and a lot of times I just be contrary just to get it all out of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I learned a lot of stuff from y'all. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of stuff from y'all that I can. Most of the stuff I learned from y'all. Put it like that. People on this show. You know, so
that's good.
Even though y'all think I don't, I challenge y'all to learn.
I was listening. I'm telling you, I was listening to y'all. I was listening to y'all, and y'all made a lot of sense on a lot of different things. So that was great. Usually people get all bent out of shape about these type of topics, wanting to fight and all curse each other out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, man, I'm not doing that not for this kind of topic, you know.
Yeah, man.
But I ain't losing no sleep over this.
But anyway, y'all, let's do the final. Let's do the part comments, y'all. Whatever y'all want. Y'all ain't got to talk about what we talking about. Y'all talk about what y'all want to talk about. Part comment. Jenny. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this before we do the part comments, y'all. We gonna let Jenny got something to tell y'all. She got her own thing coming up, y'all. And she gonna tell y'all a little bit about it. Hold on, let me play this video. Her intro. She got an intro going and everything, y'all. Oh, Jenny, she's a smart cookie, man.
Thank you. Too kind.
Hold on, let me.
This is J Renee with J Renee Talks. Welcome to my channel. Do you ever feel overwhelmed, overlooked, misunderstood, or misinformed? Well, we live in a world where so much is happening that we miss the things that are important or should be important to us and due to our busy schedule. I understand this all too well. So I'm committed to help build and encourage others through life's challenges and circumstances by sharing the knowledge and wisdom I've gained through experiences with others as well as myself. On this channel, we'll talk about relationships, mental health, self care, and spiritual awareness. I believe these discussions can help enrich the lives of others so that together we can all win. There is only one you, and you matter. I look forward to sharing these topics with you on J Renee Talk.
Hey, J Renee Talk. J Renee Talk.
Thank
J
you.
Renee, what inspired you to do this?
Well, a lot of times at work, I've seen a lot of situations with my students, the parents, even in my own circle of friends, the stuff we talk about on the show. It's like, where do we make a difference? And I know footwork wise, with my schedule, I'm not going to walk around to everybody's door and talk about these things. So I figured, as much as I'm kind of a private person, I will make that choice to get in front of a camera more than what we're doing and really talk to people and help them to understand that I get it, to help them to be in a better state with all of the things that are happening in their personal life. Just all the things that we talked about. I thought to myself, how can I contribute? Like, how can I really give back to support people with all the things that we talk about and that we discuss? Sometimes people need those nuggets of truth. They need those words of encouragement, and they just need information. Sometimes we don't have information about how we need to be and how we need to do and work certain things, whether it's this or that. And those topics that I have with the relationships, especially mental health, spiritual awareness, all those things are like major. And that touches on like every part of your life. So I got inspired by just a lot of the conversations we've had, and just in my work, just working with little ones and working with the parents, just seeing how we're all going through stuff. We're all struggling. I was like, how can I give back? Because it's taking me out of my comfort zone to do this. Like, for real.
Oh, yeah?
Really, it's taking me out of my comfort zone. For real.
So
I'm kind of,
So when the first video, when we can see the first content?
So the first one should be coming out next Thursday. So about a week and a half.
About a week and a half. And
Yeah.
so you want people to go subscribe to Jay?
Sure.
Can they subscribe now? Just go now, subscribe.
So tonight is going public.
Oh, tonight?
Yes.
Oh, go hit the button that in.
It's going public tonight because any viewers that have seen it, it's been a shared link. It's just, just been a few folks, just some private people. But once it goes public, like, anybody can type it in and it'll come up.
Okay, well, I'm happy for you. I'm wishing the best. I hope the people who tune in get something out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. I might get something out of it.
And the thing is, for me, I'm not about numbers. It's more about whoever needs it, they'll find it. They'll find it. So that's my whole goal. I can't tell you how many times I've been in dark places, or I had questions and I was scrolling trying to find something to help me. And I was like, you know what? I need to do that because I've had it where I've been helped, and now I want to give back and help other people. And this is just one way to do it, because I feel like I do this in my everyday life with my work. But at the same time, it's like there's a platform where I can reach other people. I may never meet them, but that's okay. I don't care if it's just two people. I just want to be able to help somebody get in a better state with how they're living.
All right then. So that's your part and comment then?
It is. It is. Those are our parting comments. And I enjoyed the show. And again, it's like, just to touch on a little bit, get close to God, whether you go to church or whether you're at home in a Bible study group, get close to God, because you only get this one chance to do it. You don't get another chance after this. Once you're gone, it's over. So just get close to God. And I love y'all. I enjoyed the show.
All right, sister. Peace. Peace.
Good night.
Log on.
You crazy.
All right, brother.
I'm gonna say this, that I enjoy and appreciate you guys, and I enjoyed the show tonight. I love having these kind of conversations. And I don't have the time to do a show myself, between work and then my kids and stuff. But these type of platforms, it helps me, I get to enjoy it and support it by, logging on and supporting you guys, and that's good enough for me. I just want let people know, man, y'all to go ahead and log on in and join the conversation. There's no judgment. Just keep the feelings, you keep don't be your sensibilities, your sensitivity somewhere. It could be tough. Sometimes these tough conversations can be had, and it can be educational. So, it's okay. It's okay to disagree, but we can disagree in like Stafford says, in love. So let's go ahead and take care of it and do it that way. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's all I gotta say.
All right, my brother, appreciate you logging on from work. See that man right there? Look. To all my homeboys and homegirls out there, this man mess with me. I ain't gonna say how we say in the street, man. No, this man mess with me from at work. You know what I'm saying? And I got 100 friends. I need 20 of y'all tune in on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I need my 20 of my friends to kind of help me out and help me promote. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ashamed to say I need y'all. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you, brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Your dedication coming on at work, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't scared to get caught.
No. Because I'm the one in charge.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
How you do it. Right.
When you in charge, you can't nobody catch you.
Ain't nobody say shit. All right.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right,
bro.
later, man.
All right, man. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in, texting. We had a great conversation. And at the end of the day, man, all I got to say, if you are a Christian, if you want to reach people, if you want to teach people the goodness of God, if you want to teach them the greatness of God, go to them in love. And I'm willing to bet you will get more out of them than you ever would if you ridicule them. Go to people in love. Because that's how God came to us. That's how God reaches us through love. And God knows we're imperfect people. And if God knows we're imperfect people, we have to be smart enough to know that the people that we're trying to minister to are imperfect people. Just because we have changed don't mean everybody else has changed. We have to invoke them to change. And the only way to me, the best way to do that is to go to them in love to get better results. And let me tell you something. God has no conditions on his love for us. He loves us through all of our iniquities, all our ups and downs. God still loves us. And he's not a God looking to whoop us, beat us down. The God I know he always has open arms. He's never looking to push us away. His arms are always open. And that's how our arms should be toward each other. Always open in love. Peace out, y'all. And guess what? I love y'all, and y'all can't do nothing about it.